Good evening, and let's start with another Thursday night banger. In Philadelphia tonight, the Eagles take on the Traveling Commanders. Welcome to the Up and Running Pods weekly NFL Pick'em. It is week 11. We will review week 10. What an awful week. Except the Dolphins won. Didn't pick them. You can catch us on X at Up and Running Pod, at Bama Turk 46. Give us a shout. Let us know what you think about the games. Wow, what a week! 8-6 on the week for me in week 10. Just absolutely brutal. Some of the losses, really for these teams, just bad losses, bad things going on in these games. But we're going to start with last week's Thursday night game. You couldn't have asked for a better game. You couldn't have asked for something that honestly keeps happening to the same guy, and I'm here for it as an Alabama fan. Roll Tide. I'm always here for Joe Burrow getting beat. When you have a stellar game, 34 for 56 for 428 and 4 touchdowns, gets beat 34-35 because, oh, wait a second, Lamar Jackson plays for the Ravens. This is the second time they've played each other, and Burrow has shown out, and Lamar's like, no. He gives him the Dikembe Mutombo and tells him, listen, I know that you are a good quarterback and you want to win. But here's the thing. I'm better. I'm on my way to the Super Bowl. Just ask Big Turk. He knows what's going on. I mean, he threw 4 touchdowns this past week, 5 touchdowns in week 5, I think it was, they played. And still gets beat by a grand total of 4 points. Just absolutely crazy. Defensively, these two teams don't play defense against each other, which I also find somewhat hilarious. But let's listen. In the AFC North, you have 3 teams that can play football. One of them has taken a while to get going this year in the Bengals, but that's going to be a chase. And quite frankly, Pittsburgh and Baltimore, don't sleep on Cincinnati. I know Baltimore, I got them going to the Super Bowl, but don't sleep on Cincinnati. If Burrow gets running, if T. Higgins ever wants to play football again, don't sleep on Cincinnati. They can get it done. I mean, Jamar Chase had 11 catches for 264 yards and 3 touchdowns. Your fantasy football, if you've got Burrow and Jamar Chase last week, and you lost, if you lost, I'd stop playing fantasy football because the rest of your team is some donks. Donks, I say. Then we have a trip to Germany. Game 1 of Sunday morning football, 9:30 a.m. in Germany. The awful Carolina Panthers travel over as the home team to face the horrible New York Cheerleading Giants. We'll have something better next week for that. But they are horrendous. Horrendous. No points in the first half. The second half, they score 17 to tie it up. In an overtime, the Giants fumble the first play of the overtime. Panthers win 20-17. By the way, in case I didn't mention it, the Ravens won 35-34 over Joe Burrow. Insane. Burrow and the Bengals went for 2 and didn't get it, trying to get the win. Hey, I get it. Momentum's a big thing. But woof. 2 awful teams in Germany. That's not what the NFL needs to showcase, but it doesn't matter. The Germans were drinking pitchers of beer. And unlike the state of Virginia, where you can't drink a pitcher of beer at a table, it is illegal to serve it, from what I hear. They'd never served me. The pitcher of beer was being sold at the stadium, and they were chug-a-lugging this thing like there's no tomorrow. I want to go to Germany and watch a football game. Don't know if I'll make it out the stadium awake. Probably be asleep. Unbelievable. German beer is apparently amazing. My grandfather served over there and drank a lot of it. Probably got him in trouble too. But moving on. Kansas City and the Denver Broncos. Kansas City rolling in, undefeated in the NFL, facing the Denver Broncos. And what happens here? What happens? The greatest thing happens of all. The Denver Broncos have a shot to win the game. Down 2, field goal, 17, over the Chiefs, 16. Oh, boo. Once again, the Chiefs are bailed out by their defense, special teams, because Pat Mahomes ain't it, folks. 1 touchdown on the day, 266 yards passing. That's it. Not great from him. Denver loses to Kansas City. Oh, so bad. 14-16. Terrible. Feel bad for him. Next, Washington versus Pittsburgh. Took Washington in this game. Washington should have won the game. Had a chance to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. And they didn't. And that's okay. Don't crap on them just yet. 28-27. They worked their way back, had a 10-point lead, and just gave it away. Not falling back into old commander form. But Russell Wilson, let me tell you something. Let's just stop everything. Mike Tomlin is 7-2 this season with 2 different quarterbacks. 2 washed up, 2 never had it, 2 okay quarterbacks at this point in their career. And by Russell Wilson never having it the last 3 seasons, but Fields was never going to do it in Chicago, Mike Tomlin might be the best above 500 coach we've ever seen in the history of NFL. He knows how to win. He's got a Super Bowl, but he doesn't have the team to go all the way. And that's okay because he keeps winning. But shouldn't he just lose and get some better picks? I mean, Pittsburgh's going to find out this weekend if they're the best team in the division. I don't think they are, but they are at home. It's a big thing. Pittsburgh just won 28-27. Washington went for it. Had a chance to get the first down. Called Ertz short on the last play of their offensive drive there. So Pittsburgh wins that game. Big game for them. Move on to Minnesota and Jacksonville. Listen, Jacksonville is absolutely horrendous. If I'm Jacksonville, if I'm the owner, if I'm Shad Khan, if I'm thinking about what we're doing, I am moving my team to Europe right now. It was a 12-7 loss to the Minnesota Vikings in a bad performance by Sam Darnold. 3 picks. I think the NFC North just threw picks this past week. Interception after interception after interception. We will get to a game in a minute where they threw 5 picks. Okay? 5 pick'ems. Okay? 5. That's cinco. All right? I mean, goodness, at least Caleb Williams didn't throw any this weekend for the Chicago Bears. Jacksonville loses 7-12 to the Minnesota Vikings. It's so embarrassing. It really is. Atlanta and New Orleans. Cousins fails to win another game. New Orleans is basing everything off of this new coach juice they got. They won't win again this week. But Kirk Cousins, get the job done, buddy. Best quarterback in the game, but didn't come away with the win. I mean, good gosh. 7 games in a row, 7 losses in a row. And the Falcons, the Saints are terrible. Mike Mills will tell you at M_squared on X, squared 11 on X will tell you never bet against a home team in a divisional game. And he would have been right on this one. He would have been extremely right. Atlanta loses 17-20 to the New Orleans Saints. San Francisco at Tampa Bay. Let me tell you something. A lot of fireworks in this game. Catch the podcast tomorrow morning. We'll talk more about Debo there. But let me tell you something. 3 missed field goals by Jake Moody. 3 missed field goals by Jake Moody. Put this game into peril. 2020 coming down the stretch. He gets up for the 4th one. Bam! Knocks the banger in. 23-20. The 49ers come away with a win. Much needed win. 5-4 right now. They have got to get it going. They have to finish the season. Have to. I'm telling you, to get in the NFC, you better have 11 wins. You better have 11 wins because you're not good enough to beat some of the other teams. The NFC North is going to beat up on each other, yes, but you're talking about a 14-3, 13-4. You better get to 11 to make a wild card. I'm telling you, it's going to be tough. San Francisco gets the job done 23-20 against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buffalo at Indianapolis, not even a game, let me tell you. The Bills find a way to win. Joe Flacco finds a way to turn the ball over. Buffalo gets it done 30-20 in Indianapolis. Joe Flacco turned the ball over, and that's fine. But Joe Flacco is still better than Richardson, unless you ask the Colts, who are going back to him. They're having a tankathon. They're 4-6, still well into AFC playoff contention. I mean, the Dolphins are 3-6, and they're saying they've got a chance. But we'll get to the Dolphins in just a bit. New England and Chicago. Nobody thought that Caleb Williams would lose to both of his top 3 picks this year. But there he goes. He did it. 3 points is all they could mount. Drake May wasn't great. 15 to 25, 184 with a touchdown. Nothing there. But the Patriots get the win, 19-3 over the Bears in Chicago. Chicago better figure it out and figure it out quick, because right now they're looking at getting another couple of top first-round picks, because Caleb Williams ain't showing up against bad teams. And that's a big problem for him. Big problem for him. Moving on, we got Tennessee and the Los Angeles Chargers. 27-17. Never a game. Chargers took care of business. The Tennessee Titans will be picking number 1 overall, I believe, unless they win a game. And then it will be your Dallas, America's not my team, Cowboys, Jerry Jones, sell the team. They're up next. Chargers won 27-17. The Eagles come into Jerry's house and just blitz the crap out of the Dallas Cowboys offense. Kill them. 6 points. Are you serious right now? Jalen Hurts, 202 yards on 14 passes, 14 and 20 passing, 2 touchdowns. Saquon Barkley only had to run for 66 yards. A.J. Brown had 109 yards. The Cowboys fall to 3-6, 0-4. 0-4 in one of the best stadiums in the entire world. And they can't win at home. The Eagles improved to 7-2. They take the NFC East Division lead. Hurts accounts for 4 touchdowns, 2 throwing, 2 rushing. Holy smoke. Prescott's out for the rest of the season, getting some surgery, tore the hamstring off like he will do the turkey leg next weekend during Thanksgiving. Is Dallas done? Is Mike McCarthy out? You've got to spend money that you don't need to be spending. Micah Parsons needs to be a free agent, and y'all need to drag it down to bare bones, and hopefully you hit a home run. Because here's the issue the Cowboys are running into right now. Their quarterback is done. Injured last year, injured this year. He's making too much money. Jerry Jones, give me a call. I will sign on right now to do what Cooper Rush is doing and probably give you better success. Just call me the fat Drew Brees. I'm a short little fat guy, but I can throw the ball downfield. I can take 3 or 4 hits from them big fatties. Ain't gonna move very much, buddy, but all you got to do is tell CeeDee Lamb to make a shake left and a shake right. I got you. Because what you're putting out on the field, there's no way to recover from this if you win next year, which you're not going to do. But winning 10, 11 games next year, or 7 or 8 games, is going to put you out of contention for a good quarterback. Because this year, there's nothing, and you're going to have a top 3 pick in the draft, buddy. And what you're telling your fan base right now, what your fan base is watching, is you did nothing with back-to-back quarterbacks in Romo and Prescott, and the Redskins are doing something with a rookie quarterback and your defensive coordinator. Let it be known, the Dallas Cowboys coordinator from 2023 is now the head coach of the Washington Commanders in 2024, sitting at 7-3. Let it be known. Oh, I could rag on them all day. Not because I don't like the Cowboys. I think Prescott's a good quarterback. I don't think he's worth billions of dollars. At the same time, Jerry Jones is the biggest idiot GM in all of football. He built a brand, but your brand's going to go away because y'all suck. Moving forward, we're going to my favorite segment of the week. Another loss for the New York Jets. Suck. I hate the Jets. And Aaron, you are worse than LeBron James and his nepotism baby. It is embarrassing what you two are doing to your leagues. You need to retire, move on, enjoy a spot on Pat McAfee's show every week, and be done. You are horrible. Kyler Murray came to town and blitzed y'all the whole way. 31-6. The Cardinals beat the Jets. You let a pitiful team like the Cardinals, who are 6-4 right now, beat you by 3 points less than the Eagles beat the Cowboys. Woo! Y'all suck. Moving on to my next Super Bowl pick, the Detroit Lions come away with a win, scoring the final 19 points in this game to win 26-23, backed by Jared Goff in 5, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 interceptions to win the game. John Mechie, got to point this out for Houston, Alabama wide receiver, John Mechie III, 5 receptions, 74 yards, 1 touchdown. That's almost 15 yards of reception. His quarterback threw 2 picks, 7 picks in the game. 7, count them. That's a touchdown's worth. Woo! But Detroit got it straight, came in 26-23, 5-0 away, 8-1 total. They look good. Detroit looks good. When you do things like that, a la Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, you can win a lot of football games. A lot of football games if you do that. 5 picks and come back and beat a good Houston team. Now, Stroud ain't lighting it up like he did last year, but Stroud's a good quarterback. They're getting it done. Getting it done. A lot of Alabama loving that game. Jahmyr Gibbs, 19 carries, 71 yards. And now, for my favorite, Monday Night Football. The Miami Dolphins travel all the way to Los Angeles to face the Rams. They're 3-6 now because they were 2-6. But they came into the Rams Stadium and they won 23-15. Tyreek Hill has a touchdown catch. And that's the only good thing I can say. My man got a wrist injury, but he got it done. They snap a 3-game skid. They beat the Rams. They beat a good Rams team that beat a good Vikings team last week. Let me tell you something. The Dolphins have a path to the playoffs. But with with 10 games left, they've got to go 9 games left. They've got to go 7-2 at worst, get to 10-8. Or 10-7, I mean. There's 8 games left. They got to go 7-1. I'm sorry. My math is just all over the place. But they got to go 7-1 the next 8 games. We're going to figure it out. The Dolphins are going to make the playoffs and get beat in the first round because we're probably going to play the Chiefs again. But that's your week in a nutshell. 8-6, baby. 8-6. It's horrible. But now, as we always do after Monday Night Football, we move to this week of terrible picks. Well, we hope they're not terrible. We hope they're great. Hopefully we put a little money in our pocket, right? In the pool. Week 11 pick'em. Here we go. Washington at Philadelphia. Big NFC battle. Winner takes the top of the NFC East. We're going to see what happens tonight. In my heart, I want Washington to win. Being local here in Richmond, tough to hate them. Listen to them all the time. It is what it is, right? So rooting for Washington, have a feeling Philly's going to get it done. But we're going to take Washington, low points on the game in the confidence pool. See what happens. Jaden Daniels has a chance. It's going to be raining. Got to rely on the run game. Brian Robinson comes back. How healthy is he going to be? But we all know Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley have been tearing up for the Eagles. But we're going to go Washington in that game. Starting on Sunday, we got Miami, Las Vegas. Miami's 3-6. Las Vegas is 2-7. But Vegas has got Minshew. Miami's got Tua Tagovailoa. We're taking Miami. We're taking for the max points this week. Must win for Miami to keep the season going. Gotta beat the hard teams you shouldn't beat. Game 2 of a week full of games. Back to back on Sunday. Go be a great week for that. You got Washington and Philly, and then the other Philly team, Pittsburgh Steelers, are hosting the Baltimore Ravens. 7-3 versus 7-2. Banger of a game. It's going to come down to who can handle the ball the longest, the time of possession. Keep the ball away from Baltimore. They're going to have a problem scoring based off of their rushing offense. It's not like they can score immediately. Zay Flowers has been good this season, but Pittsburgh has a tough task in that, no matter how good T.J. Watt is. And can Baltimore's defense shore itself up and get after Russell Wilson? I'm taking Baltimore. I just don't think they can handle the rushing game of Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. Look to the third and fourth quarters for them to score and run quite a bit. get going. It takes them a while to get going, but if they get going early, this game could get out of hand. Again, one of the better rivalries in football. You see it twice a year, one home, one away for each team. It's a great rivalry there. Jacksonville at Detroit, next game with the top points, okay? Top points taking Detroit, no chance. It's going to be horrible for Jacksonville. They might lose by 4 touchdowns. New England and the Rams need a bounce-back game. It is a trap game for the Rams, but they're going to get the job done. It's either going to be close, like 2-3 points, a field goal win at the end, or they're going to win by 3 touchdowns. It's not a 7-point game here. It's either super close, New England has a chance to win at the end, or the Rams are going to blow them out the building, which let's hope that happens. Watson is done. He's no longer playing for Cleveland. Then they bring in Jameis Winston, and you really thought Winston was going to get the job done, but that didn't happen. New Orleans is playing for the new coach. They're going to beat Cleveland this week. Middle of the road points, but a lot of confidence in New Orleans to get the job done. Jets have to come back. They're facing the Indianapolis Colts this week. The Colts are starting Anthony Richardson, who can do what? Absolutely nothing with the football, but throw it downfield and miss every receiver that's there. Aaron Rodgers, Aaron, and his boy receiver that he brought along are going to come back, get the win this week. Big points on them. Tennessee versus Minnesota. Minnesota needs to bounce back offensively. Sam Darnold's got to get the job done. 3 picks and 4 field goals, not the way to get it done. They come back and they get back on track against Tennessee. Tennessee takes the big loss here. Green Bay and Chicago, well, it is a divisional game. Don't bet against divisional home teams. Let me tell you something. Chicago has no chance. Caleb Williams is done for the season. Green Bay is going to get it done, keeps pace. They have to stick with Minnesota and Detroit if they want any chance at winning the division, much less getting that wild card spot, because if the 49ers come along and the Rams keep going like they're going, it's going to be tough ticking in the NFC with 2 West teams and possibly 2 North teams vying for 3 positions. We will see. Denver is bringing in Atlanta and Kirk Cousins. Let me tell you something. Denver needs to keep winning to make their playoff dreams stay alive. Atlanta should have the South, but New Orleans is making a fight for it. Denver's going to get the win here in the Mile High. They can breathe better up there. You know, the oxygen gets a little rough for them, but Denver's going to get the job done. San Fran, another team, got to keep it going. The NFC is going to be tough this season, right? Seattle wants to get back to 500, but San Francisco could get it done. They're firing on all cylinders. Looks like Debo's talk with the kicker worked. I mean, he probably threatened him a little bit, but, that's okay. That's okay. Got to do what you got to do. Not a fan, but, do what you got to do. San Francisco comes away with a win against Seattle, against their division rival. Buffalo is bringing in Kansas City into Buffalo. They're going to get the win. Kansas City cannot beat Buffalo in the regular season this year. It won't happen. Buffalo's going to get their first win. It's a good team. They're going to show up. They're going to play out. That's going to be an awesome win for them. The Chargers are bringing in Cincinnati. This is a tough game. I really had to go back and forth, look at a couple things. Listen, Burrow wants to make the playoffs. Burrow doesn't want to take a season off, so he's going to fight. Looks like they're going to have or not have T. Higgins again, but that's okay. He's got weapons. You're not playing Baltimore. Going to get the job done against the Chargers. Going to air it out. Go have another probably 150 yards for Jamar Chase this week. Go get him Cincinnati. Cincinnati over the Chargers. And your Monday Night Football Texas Showdown. Houston versus Dallas. 6-4 Houston Texans versus 3-6 Dallas Cowgirls. And listen, there's nothing really to talk about here. This game was going to be pivotal. This game was going to be an awesome game to watch. Dak goes out. Offensively, the Cowboys brought in guys that aren't good. You can't keep returning running backs that are 30, 40 years old when you need a new crop of people. Jerry wants people his age to hang out with. So what does he do? He brings in Zeke Elliott. Guess what? Didn't work out. Taking Dallas all week. No chance. The Houston Texans get back on track after that ugly loss last week against the Detroit Lions. They're going to win this game big on Monday night. Good luck to everybody on that. Your bye week this week. The Giants, Arizona, Tampa Bay, and the Rams. It was a we'll check them again next week at the start of week 12. Have a great weekend. At Bama Turk 46, at Up and Running Pod. Let me know your thoughts. Send me your picks. Compare your picks. See what we got going on. Everybody have a good night. Have a good weekend. Peace.